So okay. You just seem to know already. I didn't even say anything. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the public hearing for the issuance of the new cabaret license for Dove and Deer New York LLC, DBA as Dove and Deer, located at 32 Dove Street here in Albany, New York, 12210. My name is Shaniqua Jackson. I'm the city clerk for the city of Albany. To my left, I have my deputy city clerk, Demetra Brown. To my right, I have information clerk 2, Alma Speed. We have two people, excuse me, the time is now 4:02 p.m. We have two people signed up for public comment, so we're going to start with our public comment speakers first. The first speaker is Eleanor Da Silva. You can come up. You can have a seat right at that table there. I'm going to ask that you state your name and address for the record. If you can speak right into the microphone, it should be on. If not, you can press the button, the white strip in the middle. No.
There we go.
Perfect.
Yes, my name is Eleanor De Silva, and I'm a resident of Center Square. I live directly across the street from Dove and Deer. I purchased that house 4 years ago. It's primarily rental, but my family and I live there as well. When we bought the house, Dove and Deer was a very quiet, neighborly restaurant, and it was a pleasure to have in the neighborhood. Since then, the restaurant was purchased, and they was very hopeful to having them in the neighborhood because I agree that the neighborhood could certainly use some, Albany could use some brightness and some laughter and happiness in it. But my concern is that last year it was very noisy when they had their parties and weddings and things like that. And each time the gentleman mentioned some type of a noise ordinance. Well, I'm not sure that's going to work. This is a residential area. Lark Street is primarily for having fun, and so is downtown Albany. So my concern is why have it in a residential area when people are working, and now they want a license to have live music and dancing. Well, that's difficult for people who live in the area, who have purchased these homes and put their hard-spent money into them to revive them and beautify them. Each time the door opens at Dove and Deer, the noise comes out. The people are also standing in front of the place, in front of Dove and Deer, outside of the restaurant, and they're, you know, laughing, having fun, and making all kinds of noise. And for the most part, it seems like they're drunk. On more than 2 occasions, there have been fights outside. There is also a lot of trash in the area that doesn't seem to be priority. And I mean, it just seems like a difficult business to hold in a residential community. And my concern is for, not to mention the fact that there is absolutely no parking. The neighborhood used to be cleaner. Now I notice there's always trash in the street, always litter boxes or to-go boxes. And my concern is that this is not healthy for the residents, and a lot of us will probably leave. And also, there was no notification of this meeting. I only found out about it yesterday. I'm concerned about that as well. I'm not sure why that is, but there are quite a few residents in the area who wanted to be here but could not because they have to go to work.
Thank you for your comment.
You're welcome.
Next speaker is Danny Boudreauer. You can come up to the podium or to the table, excuse me. State your name and address for the record.
Danny Boudreau, 494 Madison. I'm good to go? Okay. So I'll start by saying I do believe that Dove and Deer should be granted their cabaret license. To me, there's a difference between having music in a lively culture and having rowdiness and public disorder. I think that those things are separate issues that can be enforced, as well as the noise ordinance. I also believe that prior, when not just Lark Street, but beyond, was a more vibrant, fun culture, that we had more eyes on the street. There's a lot of research supporting the importance of eyes on the street as far as improving public safety. I think that what we have now is a lot of vacant buildings, a business community that's not doing well, boarded up buildings, disorderly conduct everywhere. I can't really walk anywhere without being panhandled and honestly sometimes threatened. And I felt like before, when we had a vibrant community, we had safer streets. We attracted young professionals that not only wanted to come visit, but they wanted to stay. I firmly believe that live music and vibrant art scenes are essential for revitalizing our city. You know, from my understanding, it's mostly jazz music that they're looking to play. I think that that is a different kind of culture than having a club or a party scene. You know, it attracts a different type of people. You're not attracting necessarily partiers. I think that, but you know, I have talked to a lot of residents that, you know, I am really concerned about this is people's lives and where they live, and they deserve to have a place where they can have peace as well. And I think that what would help both the business community and the residents is having an enforceable noise ordinance. The issue, and I mean, I've talked to multiple common council members about this, city officials, that the current noise ordinance is not enforceable. It's, you know, it outlines, you know, we need to have a reasonable person must believe that there's an unreasonable amount of noise. The police arrive, they have no idea how to enforce that, they don't really do anything, so the residents have a feeling of like, and they've been burned in the past, they've had bad businesses in the past, you know, I'm sure you remember Cafe Hollywood, that people have that memory. So I think that having an enforceable noise ordinance, and we don't need to reinvent the wheel, there's multiple, I'll use Stamford, Connecticut as an example, but Saratoga does the same thing, they have decibel limits. So whether it's 65 or whatever decibel limit you set, you have a decibel limit that is not to exceed that amount past a certain time of night, and you can even differentiate the type, you know, whether it's a weekday versus a weeknight, and have enforceable consequences. You know, and I would think that the city too, as far as all the money that's coming into the downtown, Dove and Deer is part of the downtown, that we get money to help with soundproofing. And then we're able to have a thriving community, and neighbors are able to have a quiet existence in their apartment at the same time. I think that having clear guidelines and something that's enforceable and realistic and that makes sense, something that's not subjective but objective, is a good compromise in the community. But ultimately, I do believe that we have a lot of musicians in our community, a lot of people that appreciate the arts, and that's part of our culture in the 6th Ward. So you know, I do think that we need to balance the needs of the people that live there, but ultimately, I think that we need to have a thriving community because it's not looking good right now.
Thank you for your comment. That concludes our public comment period. I'd like to call the owner, Thomas Vacanti, up, and we'll review the application and have an opportunity for you to provide any additional comments.
Thank you.
All right, if you can state your name and your association to the business.
My name is Thomas Vacanti. I'm the owner and operator of the business Dove and Deer at 32 Dove Street.
Thank you. And did you receive the legal notice for the public hearing, and was it visibly displayed on your establishment?
It was.
Thank you.
Admittedly, I only received it a few days ago, and it was only put up there for a few days.
That's okay, as long as you received it and it was posted.
Yep, it's still there.
Thank you. Did you receive the City of Albany ordinance regarding cabaret licenses as well?
Yes,
And for the record, is it your intent to apply for a year-long cabaret permit?
yes,
And is the establishment currently open for business?
it is.
And what is the maximum occupancy of the establishment?
85 people?
Ma'am, you,
The interior, the fire code is 85. With the patio, I'm not sure I have that exact, I'm not sure. But there's a patio that seats about 20 people.
okay,
So maybe with the outside, we have 110.
okay, thank you. And for the record, we do have your certificate of maximum occupancy with your application. And as you stated, it is 85 persons. And for clarification, can you provide the square footage of the establishment?
Oh, I think it's about 1,500 square feet, the exact number. Yes, 1,500.
All right, thank you. And does the establishment currently have any additional rooms that are going to be used?
No,
Outside of the main?
it does not.
And for clarification, I want to go over the hours of operation. I think you have listed per your application, Monday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 1 a.m.
That's correct.
And the proposed hours and days of entertainment, you've listed Monday through Sunday from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And what types of entertainment do you plan on having?
This arose out of patrons requesting live bands. In that time, we've also realized that it would be nice to be able to have DJs there as well. We've just started doing brunch, and DJ brunch is a popular thing in the community. I think I put on the application open mic just because I thought if that arises, it seemed like the least of the, what might bother people.
And karaoke, you listed.
Oh,
as
yeah,
well, too.
yep, karaoke too. But the main intent is the jazz band and the DJ, or live music and DJ.
Okay, all right.
But
thank you
I
for-
didn't want to limit myself if that's acceptable.
Okay, yep, thank you for that. And do you have security during the hours of entertainment?
We have planned one person for security.
Is it a staff person or hired?
It would be a staff person.
Okay. All All right, does the establishment have any soundproofing?
It does, mostly to protect the people right upstairs.
Okay.
Like the lady mentioned, I don't think you hear anything unless the door opens up.
Okay.
And we, looking forward, I guess we'll try and make sure the door stays shut.
Okay. Um,
We do have a sound system currently, you know, that we play with our, you know, streaming service. And to this point, I've owned the place for a little over a year. I have never received one phone call from anybody about noise.
Okay. All right, thank you for that clarification. During the times that you indicated for entertainment, will you be selling beer or wine or alcohol?
Yes,
And I believe you have submitted your liquor license. Yes, you did, and we do have that on file with the expiration date of July 31st, 2026.
yep.
And are you aware of any history of any noise complaints or calls to Albany Police Department?
There was a
Are
call.
you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
There was a call to Albany Police. It was the night that Fish came, I think.
Okay.
A lot of people showed up at the bar,
Okay.
and they were out a lot outside. So understandably, we had to control that a little bit.
Okay.
But there was no entertainment or live music or anything. It was just the sound system and a lot of people.
Okay. All right. Are you aware of any violations of any during the history of Dove and Deer LLC of any state, local, or federal laws?
Not during my tenure.
Okay. So part of the review process, it does include the Department of Building and Regulatory Compliance to review your application, and then they will check to see if there are any city code issues. Are you currently aware of any potential code violations that will prohibit the issuance of the cabaret?
No.
Do you have anything that you would like to add for the record?
No, I think it's an exciting thing that we'll be able to offer things that the people from the community, mostly our patrons, but also around have asked, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? You know, since I've took over, we've expanded to lunch and another day of dinner service and brunch, and it's all been going very well, and we want to make sure we can, you know, maximize the experience, and I think the live music and, you know, a really good DJ is part of that. And I think it is absolutely not, you know, necessarily going to mean we're going to be any louder, you know, or different than we currently are. It's just a different form of entertainment, so I'll look forward to offering it to the community.
All right, thank you. So as part of the process, it does include multiple departments to review your application and supporting documentations, those departments being Albany Police Department, the Law Department, the Planning Department, the Division of Building and Regulatory Compliance, Albany Fire Department, and your Common Council member, Richard Conti. Okay?
Okay?
All right. Do you have anything else that you would like to add for the record?
I do not.
All right, thank you very much. The time is now 4:18, and I deem this public hearing to be closed. Thank you.
Thank you.